Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I'm just looking at some of the comments that were made about our friend, such as he is, our friend Alan, the Canadian. So, scam or not, and does it even matter? Now, before anybody starts to look at this latent where they apparently have not seen everything that's going on, just quickly look at it. He came to us for help. He said that he needed, I think it was 14,000. We said that we were not in a position to help, and didn't particularly like the man, but he had a young wife, we thought then, and a very small child, 2 years old, and that of course grabbed us, and maybe that was part of his ploy. Well, what happened next was that we put the video up of that interview with him, and someone, I believe, had this put in as a doubt in my mind, but I think it was two fellow Canadians, he was Canadian, they sent him a total of 17,000, which of course we gave to him. Now that sent him off to Manila, and he went to Manila, and he came back with a story, no documentation, no receipts, no evidence that what he was saying was true. The money had been taken from him by no other than the Canadian ambassador. Yeah, okay. Well, take it on its face value. And so, he was then at that point waiting for a date when he would leave, that the ambassador would handle that, and all that Alan had to do was to be able to produce a ticket. Well, we have a friend who was interested in the case simply because he was concerned about this young girl who had been taken in by this man, and a child. There's a 2-year-old child there. So, we were given our instructions. He said, I will fund his ticket back to Canada, and I will help to support the girlfriend while he is away for 6 months, because I am concerned about the girlfriend and the child. That is my focus, and if in helping them I have to get this man out of the country, I will do it. So a week or so passed, and then we found out that Alan said, well, we actually went round to see him. I'm missing a bit of this. He was living in a dangerous area. He was being threatened and had been assaulted. So our little bit rich, who is the man who sponsored all of this change, he said, use the money that I've sent you to get this family into a safe place. We did that, and they are now in a very simple studio apartment in a safe part of town. So that's all been taken care of. Now, we went to see the man. He didn't actually see us, and then he said, it's just that I just popped out to the bakery to get something. Okay. So what he needed was 5,000 so that he could go back to Manila, because he wasn't having any luck on email from the embassy. Okay. We go back to our sponsor. What do you want us to do? He says, give him the money and let him go back, and let's see what happens. So at this point, it's a let's see. Now let's just dispel one of the things that everybody seems to be so rigidly committed to the idea of, that we spend a lot of time on this. We don't actually. We've made 2 visits, one to his new apartment, one to the slum that they were living in before, and that's it. Other than that, we've seen the girlfriend at church, because we suggested that maybe it would be nice if she came, and she was willing, and actually has expressed the wish to continue to expand her circle of acquaintances by going to the church, because our church is pretty well an all-round community. So that all said, he goes off to Manila, and he comes, as I say, comes back with this story that the embassy have taken the money, and he goes off and he returns to Manila. Now, since he returned to Manila, how much time have we spent on it? None. Okay? None. We're just waiting. And then Beth texted the girlfriend, because apparently he communicates to the girlfriend but doesn't communicate to us. I know, the smell gets worse. So, what's happening? Well, he tells us he needs the money to come back. Well, of course he does. So, we say we would like to see the address, the email address and phone number of your son and daughter. That's what Little Bit Rich wants. So that's what we ask for. So we need those addresses, and then when we have confirmed what is happening with you, we'll forward you the money to get back home. No, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want his children to be bothered. So then there's a little bit of silence. So then we got in touch with the girlfriend. We left it a while and then thought, well, what's happening with that? So Beth texts the girlfriend, and the girlfriend says, well, he's in Manila, he doesn't have the money to get home. So he said, we would like to see documents that will prove that he has done what he said. A trip to the embassy, a trip to immigration, or some kind of liaison between the two, which is confirmed by a document. And I'm sure that it would be. So that text goes there, and the demand for the documents to be sent to us by email, and that is refused by our friend Alan. He refuses to send them because he says that they are private and confidential, but he is more than willing, if we will send him the money to get home to Bohol, to show them face to face. He will show them to Terence face to face. Okay, now my feeling was much as most of you other guys on there who are a little bit more hard-nosed perhaps than I am prepared to admit to. And I feel, well, we're going to send him the money and then he's going to come back, and then what's he going to say? Has he been forthright with any real truth so far? No, he hasn't. So there's probably a ton of lies that have to be covered up by yet another ton of lies. So at this juncture, he must be driving a dump truck full of them so that he can easily unload them at every conversation. Now, he doesn't want to do that. So we texted again to the girlfriend and said, following the conversation, no docs, no money. And that's where it stands right now. Now, during all of this, of course, we are communicating with Little Bit Rich. Little Bit Rich digests what has happened. He has been in touch with the embassy, the Canadian embassy, and has not received a response, probably because of privacy of a Canadian citizen, which this man is. We have seen his passport, and it's a name that sounds as if it begins with something like Mohammed. Okay? Work with that as you will. So now, Little Bit Rich says, my focus remains, I'm speaking for him now, my focus remains the same. The child is the main focus and the mother, and I will continue to give support to them so that they are safe and eventually may return to her family who live not too far away. Okay, so that's the present situation. And he goes along with the idea that we have said, no docs, no money. Now, if it is that, see, as far as we're concerned, the girlfriend being in that apartment with her child, safe and supported, not in a grand way, in a modest way, but so that she doesn't have to worry about feeding the child, that seems to be a more ideal situation than having him back here. But let's assume that he gets back here. He has stated a date of the 13th. I believe it's the 13th. I'm not sure if it's Friday the 13th, okay. But it's the 13th of June. Why is it so far away? Heaven only knows. And heaven's not telling us at the moment. So we are waiting and seeing and spending little or no time on this because we have much more important things to do. Our intention always was to help the mother and that little girl. Sorry, but it's a child again, and we don't want anything to happen to that child by our inaction. Okay? So this tells you absolutely as much as we know at this date. That's it, and there's no more to know other than this. You will, of course, make up your own mind on things. Most of you have said, he's a scammer, that's it. A few have said, well, we've all been in trouble before, haven't we, and we've all done it wrong, and he has done it wrong. And all of that may be true. It may be true on the good side, it may be true on the bad. He may be, I don't know, he may be a saint in disguise, for all we know, but he also might not be. The important thing is that we keep the girl, the mother, safe, in a safe place, until she can return to her family. And I'll just tell you this, he was not popular when they lived with her family. He was not popular. He was not liked. Of course, as with any woman who is committed to a man, her loyalties were torn. Her loyalties are divided. She is loyal to the man. She is loyal to the father of her child. And she's in a very difficult situation. Now we know other people who are in situations like this where they're married to very difficult men, and even though they are loyal even to their faith and to their family, it's a difficult situation to be in, especially for a Filipino woman who would tend to be, I'm telling you, would tend to be loyal to her husband. And to all intents and purposes, this girl is married to this man. Now, it turns out that he actually did withhold some quite important, relevant information, such as he is married already, and the woman, of course, the woman has robbed him, as most other people in the world seem to have done. He seems to be one of those people that everybody's just in line waiting to rob him. And we'll leave that for another philosophical late night meandering. Why do some people appear to be like that? Well, what they appear and what is the actual case are two different things. So now, no docs, if he's watching this, no docs, no cash. And we will continue to support the mother with small incremental weekly help. Because if we give a monthly, if we give, I'm assuming here and making a judgment, if we give the whole amount, guess where it will go? Right. So we will give her a weekly thing. She can come up. She already expressed the wish to join in the community spirit at the church, and come along there with her little girl. Her little girl will get the chance to play with other children, and could be a worthwhile thing for her. So we'll expect to see her on Sunday, tomorrow. And if she turns up, then there will be something for her that will make it worth her while. Meantime, as soon as we know more, we will tell you. Thanks for looking in. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Please like, comment, I'm sure you'll comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.